Oh, hey, I hope I didn't startle you guys with these 3 glory holes of 12 bore, but it's me, James again, TFBTV, and today I have the Chiappa Triple Threat 12 gauge shotgun for review. Now, many of you know Chiappa from the Chiappa Rhino, Chiappa the Italian company. However, this shotgun is the Triple Threat, is imported from Turkey. Chiappa is specifically geared the Triple Threat towards home defense. I'll leave it to you guys to debate the merits of a 3-barrel shotgun with 3 rounds of 12 gauge as a suitable home defense weapon. But I will say this, it is certainly a "are you going to take my daughter to prom" style shotgun. This thing is just scary to look at. Now, as I mentioned, it's made in Turkey, and you usually have a mixed bag when it comes to guns being imported from Turkey, but the Triple Threat is actually pretty well made. A lot of people might understandably think, hey, it's a 3-barrel shotgun, it's gonna be a gimmick, it's gonna be cheaply made, and it's gonna be sold for this gun, $1,600 MSRP. But it's gonna be a $1,600 piece of shit. That's actually not the case at all. Now, this isn't a Merkel, this isn't a top-of-the-line fit and finish shotgun. There's no fancy engraving. I've gotta say, the quality of the furniture, the fit and finish, the finishing on the barrel, on the hardware of this gun really do take it outside the realm of strictly a gimmick. In fact, I'm kind of glad that they make the Triple Threat in an all-synthetic stock version as well, because it almost seems like this furniture is too nice to be on a shotgun designed for home defense. Starting from the front and working the way back, this gun comes with, it actually has 3 removable chokes. It also has a fiber optic front sight, which is very nice. No rear sight, so you're just lining up the peg and shooting. But the fiber optic front sight's a nice touch, and it definitely gets your attention if you're on this side of the barrel. The front handguard's very easy to remove. There's a lever right here. It just pops right off. And after you do that, you can break the gun open, and the whole thing breaks in half for shipping, storage, whatever you want to do. And then it's very easy to put back together. As well. The bluing's decent enough. It looks just like something you'd get on, say, like a higher end, like a Wingmaster 870. The lever to break the gun open, you push to the right. It's pretty substantially sized. You push to the right, the gun will break open, and then it's got an extractor, not an ejector, so it'll pop your shell casings up, and then you can remove them manually. I would have preferred an ejector to fire them out, but that's not really that big of a deal, and preferences vary among shooters. Tang mounted safety, very straightforward. The trigger, now I know the first question I get asked about this gun is, does it fire all 3 barrels at once? No. It goes right, left, top. 1, 2, 3, and you're done. Whenever you open the action, it resets. That doesn't matter if you shoot 1 round, if you shoot 2 rounds, if you shoot 3 rounds. Every time you break the action open, it resets, and you're gonna shoot the right first, then the left, then the top. Many of you may have noticed the seam at the back, this seam here. Actually, you can remove the rear portion of the stock to make this a pistol grip shotgun. And because even when you do that, when you remove the rear portion, the gun still, I believe it's about 27 or 28 inches long after you remove the rear portion of the stock. So that way you can still, you don't need a stamp, you don't need to do anything special in order to fire this gun with the pistol grip, because it exceeds the overall length requirement. The barrels of the Triple Threat are threaded to accept rem choke style choke tubes, and 5 are provided, ranging from skeet to full. The barrels are 18.5 inches long, and the overall length of the pistol grip version is 27.75 inches. It's got a 14.25 inch length of pull with the shoulder stock installed, and it weighs roughly 7.5 pounds. The suggested retail is $1,629. I used a trigger scale on the Chiappa Triple Threat, and the trigger pull came in at about 7.5 pounds every time. The forend and the stock are made from a good quality hardwood, expertly fitted. I mean, there's no gaps, nothing rattling. The fitment is excellent. And they've got some checkering on, you can see on the foregrip and on the stock. Anyways, I don't think I've been this excited to shoot a shotgun for a review in a long time. So let's get this thing to the range and let's see if it shoots as good as it looks. So one thing I wanted to note right out of the gate is that the action doesn't really break open by itself far enough to just drop a rimmed shot shell in. You can see you gotta, you know, kind of give it a little, watch. Got to give it a little push to get it in there. Let's see how it shoots. And again, you see you have the extractor, not an ejector. So you have to manually remove your cartridges. Again, a minor point, but you know, not something I'm particularly fond of. Shooting 3-inch turkey shot is significantly more abusive, I guess would be the better term, than birdshot, and for obvious reasons. I'm shooting 2 3/4-inch birdshot, which is really pleasant. The 3-inch turkey shot out of this gun is it's a little bit harder. This gun still has pretty decent weight to it, you know, roughly 8 pounds. So that does help with the recoil. It's got a pretty robust recoil pad, so it's definitely manageable. And remember, Chiappa does say that this gun is designed for home defense. So what else are you gonna shoot in a home defense gun other than double-aught buck? Here we go. I've got this thing loaded with 3-inch double-aught buck rounds. And I'm not looking forward to it, but let's see how it handles it. I guess let's see how I handle it. Wow. That had significantly more thump than than the birdshot or the turkey shot, which should surprise no one. But, you know, it's manageable. I mean, that's firing 3 rapid fire shots. And I suppose if you have a problem that 3 rounds of double-aught buck can't fix, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. It's not a semi-automatic, so you have no like recoil, no blowback action. You've got nothing between the shot and your shoulder other than the butt stock to soften that recoil. So if you're gonna put harder hitting rounds in it, I would definitely say take it to the range, shoot it first, familiarize yourself with it, because it's gonna kick a little bit harder than you're probably used to, especially if you're used to shooting hunting loads, 2 3/4, if you're used to shooting a semi-automatic. All right, everybody, got 2 more rounds of 3-inch double-aught buck in the Triple Threat, and I've got a Melon product, so let's go little Gallagher on you, and let's see what happens. So yeah, that handled that pretty well, I would say. Anybody want a smoothie? Okay, now I've got 3 rounds of birdshot in here. I've got a target set up behind me at 10 meters. I'm just curious to see how this thing patterns. Hopefully you're not gonna be using birdshot for self-defense, but just for fun, let's see what the patterns look like at this distance. Looks like at least 2 feet, 24 inches of spread from 10 meters. Damn. But I guess that's about what you would expect with the factory chokes on an 18.5-inch shotgun. Final thoughts on the Chiappa Triple Threat. Now, I guess there's 2 ways to frame this discussion. One is the Chiappa Triple Threat as a side-by-side plus over-under, which is more or less what it is. for $1,600 MSRP. And the second part of that discussion would be using this gun for self-defense. I guess let me talk about the self-defense part first, just because I'm gonna keep it simple. And for me, I suppose if I was gonna use a side-by-side or an over-under for home defense, this would be the one I would use. I mean, because you have 3 shots instead of 2, and it's that simple. And it's a nice gun. I mean, I have been impressed with this shotgun all day today. But that said, just generally speaking, I'm not big on the idea of a break-open shotgun for home defense. Now, there are some jurisdictions where that might be your only option, and I don't know if this is legal there, maybe this is your best option. And it wouldn't be a bad one. It does shoot well, and like I said earlier, if 3 shots double-aught buck can't handle your problem, I don't know what can. You know, it's a tricky proposition, and it's $1,600. It's kind of hard to justify not just getting a Remington 870 or something else. You know, if you have a specific purpose for getting this, or if you just think it looks cool, I guess go for it. And then as far as it being a $1,600 over-under, the second context of this gun, it's a $1,600 over-under side-by-side is what it is. I actually think you're getting a pretty good deal. If you got one of the models with a longer barrel, one of the sporting models, I think you're getting a good gun. It's got great fit and finish. The wood looks good. I like the bluing. Now, it's not the best you're ever gonna see, I'll tell you that much, but you're also not gonna be ashamed if you break this out at the country club or wherever the hell you go to and break out your shotgun. So all in all, I guess what I'm trying to say is I want the Chiappa Triple Threat to do well. I think it has performed very well. It's got some little things that bothered me. For example, you know, the fact that when you break it open, it doesn't swing down all the way. You gotta kind of push it down yourself to get those bottom 2 shells in there. It doesn't have an ejector, it uses an extractor, so you have to manually remove your shell casings. Those are 2 things that I didn't like, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. It worked reliably, looks cool as hell. So anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is 2 thumbs up for the Chiappa Triple Threat. I just hope that the Chiappa can find a niche where it'll be embraced. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it as usual. Thank you to our subscribers, and I'll see you next week.